For a democracy. Fighting for a democracy. And understand the difference here. Understand the difference here. Moving forward.
When they asked her about the gun.
Yes.
And she, yeah, I got a Glock. What kind?
Yes.
And her answer was, and
Yeah.
And Those were invented by nervous white people around black people.
Kamala Harris was thrust into the spotlight by Tyra, and the heat has been building for years. She's been sitting in that metaphorical hot seat, juggling nervous laughter, awkward speeches, and answers that often feel like unsolvable riddles. This isn't just light political jabs. This is a heavyweight roast. Tyrus dismantles every element: her convoluted word salads, forced attempts at humor, and carefully staged inspirational moments that never quite land.
VP Harris, she won't go to the border, probably because she'd rather take the magic school bus to the moon.
You guys are going to see. You're going to literally see the craters on the moon with your own eyes. Oh my goodness. With your own eyes. I'm telling you, it is going to be unbelievable.
With your own eyes.
If you ever thought Kamala's speeches were merely confusing, wait until Tyrus breaks them down. The way you listen to her words after this will never be the same. Before we continue, make sure to hit like and subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Kamala Harris exemplifies failing uphill in a way gravity itself refuses to correct. Forget Elon Musk's rockets. This is a woman who reached the vice presidency armed only with convoluted word salads, nervous cackles, and a practiced smirk that screams, "I rehearsed this in the mirror." It's bewildering, chaotic, and yet undeniably dramatic. Her tenure, as dissected by Tyrus, isn't just political. It's a masterclass in spectacle, confusion, and the theatrical side of leadership.
Kamala Harris getting mocked and criticized once again after dishing out another one of her now notoriously scrambled responses, which her critics have taken to calling a word salad. The vice president was meeting with the Jamaican prime minister, for example, when she blurted this out.
For Jamaica, one of the issues that has been presented as an issue that is economic in the way of its impact has been the pandemic. So to that end, we are announcing today also that we will assist Jamaica in...
Kamala Harris stepped onto the political stage with a resume that reads like a fevered, chaotic dream. Her career path twists and turns from prosecutor to politician to whatever role she currently occupies, creating a labyrinth with no clear exit. Even if the vice presidency were meant to be largely symbolic, Kamala turned it into a full-blown performance art piece. Her voice often carries the awkward cadence of an unpolished comedy opener, the kind nobody bought tickets for, but somehow it landed in prime time anyway.
I think it's very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders, for us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present, and to be able to contextualize it, to understand.
It hardly sounds like the voice of a confident leader. Instead, it's the nervous giggle of a middle schooler caught cheating, trying to cover embarrassment with humor. Ask her a serious question on a global issue, and she often responds with a high-pitched, awkward cackle, the auditory equivalent of someone spilling potato salad at a backyard BBQ. Imagine sitting in a meeting with international leaders and feeling like you're watching a taped audition for the next Joker film. It's not authentic, it's chaotic, but it's undeniably memorable. Speaking as if trapped in an endless job interview, every phrase seems to try to fix a problem she's just created for herself. Her statements resemble fortune cookies generated by a chatbot with a 1% battery, promising clarity but delivering none. Instead, she launches into motivational lectures about nothing, all with unshakable confidence, even as her words remain a baffling mix of confusion and forced cheer.
Regret not voicing your opinion in that moment.
Yes, and I actually have reflected on that, and I've written about that. You know, I
Would it have
realized
mattered if you did?
I don't know.
Instead of delivering warmth, inspiration, or genuine charisma, Kamala often comes across like Google Translate stuck on shuffle. It's as if someone pressed play on the corporate buzzword playlist from 2008 while she tries to motivate a crowd. Words like moment, future, and importance tumble out at random, punctuated, of course, by her signature high-pitched cackle, cutting the conversation short. But this isn't merely awkward, it's ineptitude masquerading as authority. Her history only intensifies the perception. One day, she punishes parents for children missing school, treating honesty like a national security issue. The next, she plays the cool aunt who champions fairness for all. These aren't signs of growth, they're costume changes. For Kamala, politics is a drag show, and each day's theme is dictated by whichever polling number shines the brightest.
It was amazing that no one asked. You told the American people that President Biden was better than he ever was, and you couldn't keep up with him. And then he gets pulled out of the race because he has dementia. So on the record, you are saying that a old man with dementia, or whatever they want to call it, outworked you. And you were even the last person in the room. So why are you running for president again?
I found it striking, mainly because nobody asked the question directly. You claimed that keeping pace with President Biden was challenging and acknowledged he had improved, yet now, due to his cognitive decline, he's considered unfit for the race. So, let's be clear, you're essentially saying you were outworked and the final candidate in the room was an elderly man experiencing dementia, or whatever term is being used. Given all that, the obvious question remains, why are you running for president again? Kamala Harris's presidential campaign began with fanfare, massive rallies, and promises of historic achievement, a true spectacle. Yet reality quickly set in, and the public responded, no thanks. She failed to advance past the early stages, leaving her ambitions for the presidency.
Moving forward, she couldn't move forward from that sentence. My IQ moved backward.
Unfulfilled. Instead of fading into political obscurity, she was appointed vice president, a position that offered prestige without the spotlight of success. In office, she has struggled to assert authority while remaining largely invisible. Take the border issue, her supposed signature assignment. Rather than directly addressing it, she traveled to Central America, urging people, don't come. Symbolic gestures replaced concrete action, a humorous display masquerading as governance. Kamala exemplifies the colleague who insists on presenting despite having nothing substantial to contribute. She arrives late, meanders through irrelevant commentary, and punctuates it with her trademark cackle, seemingly satisfied with her performance. If political office were rated on Yelp, hers would read 2 stars, showed up, didn't deliver, laughed too much, would not recommend. Her public appearances often feel like a farce, from awkward cooking videos to contrived photo ops and endless "we are in the moment of this moment" statements. She struggles to resonate with voters. She inadvertently performs improv comedy rather than delivering effective leadership. Consider international diplomacy. Sending someone like Kamala to negotiate global policy resembles assigning the class clown to speak with the principal. While amusing, it undermines seriousness. Other nations may wonder if America is pulling a prank, hearing complex global issues explained in the tone of a kindergarten circle. It's disorder masked by a grin, anarchy with a smile.
First things that you can say to people.
Yeah.
But I help people who harm people. God bless, good night, that's my time. That's what...
I think it's an excellent thing to acknowledge to a therapist.
Here's the real kicker. Kamala Harris was once hailed as the Democratic Party's rising star, a trailblazer poised to reshape leadership. Yet today, she stands as a living illustration of what happens when massive hype collides with reality. In political terms, she's like buying a flashy new gadget that fails the moment you turn it on. All style, no substance. Despite this, she continues to coast. Not because of competence or credibility, but because the system won't allow her to fail. If there were a saint for mediocrity, Kamala would already have her own stained glass window. She doesn't dismantle obstacles, she smiles as she trips over them. Her greatest achievement may be that her real-life misadventures are funnier than any scripted comedy, leaving late-night comedians irrelevant. Every speech often resembles an accidental stand-up routine where spontaneous humor overshadows content. In Kamala's world, style eclipses substance and politics becomes performance art. Unintentionally, she has created a perpetual open mic scenario. The audience is both stunned and unable to look away, witnessing leadership that entertains more than it governs.
I don't think Kamala will ever hold public office.
Better not.
I don't think you can come back from, it wasn't that she was outfoxed. It wasn't that she lost. I think you can certainly lose an election and run a good election.
It might seem that Kamala Harris is building her brand for the future, but in reality, she's cementing her image as vice president, a persona likely to be mocked for years. Forget the office itself, she's become the undisputed word salad queen. When duty called, the woman who joked her way into the role responded with laughter. Kamala has evolved into a politician who frustrates even her own supporters. Boldness and provocation are not the source of her appeal, rather her resistance to straightforward answers makes even the simplest topics confusing. She could attempt to explain water in a riddle, then laugh awkwardly just when it seems she might make sense. Her signature? The uncomfortable laugh, the reset button, the shield she wields like a trademark. If presidential debates ever turned into stand-up, she wouldn't even need a microphone. After a fit of giggles, she could stroll to the podium and announce, "I have no idea what I just said, and neither do you." It's more than habit. It's absurd, it's chaotic, and somehow it has become her defining brand.
Saw the video.
Yeah.
Okay? That's not someone who describes a video.
Yeah.
That's someone that they handed this to her and she was like, elephants? Oh, I'll take it from here. And then she went out there. And she was not drunk. She was hungover, because she's way worse when she's hungover. That was hungover because she kept saying the same thing over and over again.
Supporters argue that criticism of Kamala Harris stems solely from her being a woman of color. Yet that explanation doesn't hold up. Public reaction isn't about her identity, it's about her persistent political confusion. Like a malfunctioning GPS, her instincts constantly recalibrate and still fail. Her heritage isn't the problem. Her habit of turning every public interaction into an awkward icebreaker that nobody asked for is. When voters recalled her past efforts to incarcerate individuals for cheap labor, she tried to rebrand herself as a champion of justice. Her history refused to disappear, resurfacing like embarrassing old Facebook photos. The rebranding was short-lived, breaking apart faster than a paper straw in a soda can. Her record isn't the only issue. Kamala struggles to connect with audiences, speaking to crowds as if addressing interns obliged to pay attention. There's little heart or sincerity, just robotic statements that often feel garbled. Even her own campaign team reportedly had to Google her values because clarity was so lacking. Think about that. You're not leading a movement if your own team doesn't understand what you're advocating. In Kamala's case, it's less leadership and more an ongoing mystery.
Around and then they formed a circle, and then they got together. Go the away.
Despite everything, Kamala Harris still secured the vice presidency, not because she earned it, but because the Democratic Party pursued a historic decision regardless of public sentiment. What was intended as a symbol of power and leadership instead became a cautionary example of how meaningless symbols can have disastrous consequences. She has unintentionally transformed the office into a comedy tour on the global stage, where the vice president is meant to represent America with dignity. Her foreign visits often resemble poorly executed Saturday Night Live sketches. She stands behind serious world leaders, smiles, nods, and delivers a word salad that suggests she never read the briefing materials. Many international leaders are likely wondering, is this truly America's best? A humiliating scenario. Her attempts at approachability often backfire. Advising others not to travel comes across less as leadership and more like customer service from a struggling store. Her awkward vegetable cutting and cooking videos, staged photo ops that feel more artificial than wax figures, and robotic demeanor all compound the impression. She exudes the charm of a blinking impaired AI influencer, empty, unconvincing, and utterly mechanical.
At the convention, when you said you have guns, no, at the debate.
I'm a gun owner too.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that. But my staff will deal with that later.
Yeah. I'm talking about the first time I've ever seen Oprah Winfrey stutter.
Yeah.
She was like, what she wanted to say, remember that stupid you said at the, was it the debate or was it the DNC that I think drew me out? And Stedman's pissed, he was double parked, waiting for this Like, she literally said nothing. She's like, if Oprah can't save you, nobody can.
Her approval ratings tell the story, one that isn't flattering. It's not a matter of unfair targeting. The public simply isn't buying what she's offering. Her numbers have practically made the political seller her permanent residence. When pollsters ask people their opinion, the most common response is a shrug, a complete lack of interest. This is the true danger. She inspires apathy rather than admiration or outrage. Her statements often drift into accidental comedy, demonstrating how to convey nothing with maximum enthusiasm. She seems to attempt engagement by circling endlessly around sentences, leaving audiences forgetting the original question once she finishes. Yet, despite fumbling through absurdity, snagging 40% of the vote, and surviving the 2020 primary, she is still considered next in line. Meritocracy appears irrelevant. There's no hope. Kamala Harris is the political equivalent of a participation trophy. She showed up, didn't win, didn't inspire, and merely grinned. Leadership requires more than presence. It requires action and vision. Her rise owes nothing to talent or substance. It's the triumph of hype over content, optics over accomplishment, and style over meaningful leadership. Surprisingly, Kamala Harris has become the perfect embodiment of contemporary politics.
What happened, Greg? The teleprompter went up and they cheered too long. Yeah. And she panicked because all she couldn't remember the connection word. So she panicked. This ain't close, I'm telling you.
Not because she's exceptional, but because she personifies every flaw in the system. She isn't an outlier. She is the quintessential politician in an era that prizes appearance over ability. Presentation outweighs performance at every turn, and that's the reality of the game today. She doesn't lead like a champion of liberty. She resembles a bewildered camp counselor trying to fill time until the bus arrives. Kamala made history, but not the kind she envisioned. She is no longer seen as a trailblazer. Instead, she has become a target for jokes, a living example of how not to inspire, connect, or lead. She became the meme rather than the moment. History won't celebrate her as a hero. Rather, she stands as a cautionary tale. When style overtakes substance, the result is neon flashing warning signs for everyone to see. Ironically, that may turn out to be her most enduring legacy.